are. This is, well, what formerly was known as Live at 5. It is now MacGregor's Gathering. We'll discuss that in a few moments, but we have some amazing musicians here, international musicians who have travelled just for this very show, all the way from the United States. We have Sean Heely and Colin McGlynn. Yes, I knew I would get that right, kind of. These guys are absolutely amazing musicians and with great stories with them as well. So we're going to hear you. We're going to play some tunes, guys.
Absolutely.
Wow. Fantastic. So welcome to our guests tonight, Sean Heely and Colin McGlynn. Sean, you've been over a couple of times. I don't know, have you been on the show before?
No, not on the show.
No,
we've watched.
We did a session here one night, and
yeah.
Colin, is this your first time in the bar?
No, it's second, I believe.
Yeah, the first time on the show as well. Now, where are you from and why are you here?
We are from Virginia in the States, and we're here because we come up to Scotland as many times as possible, and also in the summer because it's too hot in Virginia this time of year.
Oh, it's not a problem we're finding here.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem to be an issue.
We're going to get 2 autumns this year. We're going to go back and it's going to be nice autumn.
Perfect.
Because it's already autumn here, it seems like. So we're having a good time.
But it's incredible. I mean, listening to the two of you, you would think you were from, the middle of the Highlands. The music that you're playing, incredible. What has got you into Scottish music and Highland music in particular? Either of you?
I grew up with it. My grandfather's Scottish. And I kind of just grew up with him playing, because he has a band called Glasgow Kiss, and they tour around like the little local area that I live in. So I just grew up with it, and it just seeped into my repertoire.
You've even got hints of the accent still in
That's
there. That's your And yourself, I mean, Sean, your story with the Gaelic language is quite incredible. We're going to hear you play. You are now a mod winner in America 3 times for Gaelic song, which is quite incredible. And you learnt, was it during lockdown, did you say you started?
Pretty much, yeah. I had only done a few songs, myself, Portuguese, the mouth music tunes before that, and then I knew that there was this distance learning course available, but I never had the time. And then, of course, during 2020, I had the time, so I buckled down and did 2.5 years from Salmore Osteg online.
Yeah.
And feel like I got a pretty good hold of the language enough to learn whatever song I'd like to learn now.
And it's not exactly the easiest of languages. I mean, a lot of European languages are a little bit more. You can a lot of sense. There's a lot of words in English that come from French or come from Italian and stuff like that. But Gaelic language is fairly out there, isn't it? When you start it,
it is. But it's fairly consistent as well. So that did help, and I immediately was attracted to it because it is a language of the bards. Yeah. So there's so much about Gaelic that is more about the music and the poetry that is just in the language. You don't have to learn how to we would have to learn how to speak how Shakespeare spoke back then. It's still the same in Gaelic,
That's interesting, actually. Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah. So we're going to hear you sing later on, and we're going to get more tunes. But there are some very important announcements to make tonight. For instance, did you know that Inverness has now officially been recognised as the happiest city in the UK? How does that sound? Woo! It's the happiest city in the UK! Sorry, we must be full of locals tonight because none of them believe that. Aye, all I can hear is people going, aye, right enough. Aye, that'll be right. Aye, no chance. So I don't exactly know how this survey was done. It was done on soft things like how unlikely you are to get mugged or something like that. I'm not entirely sure how it was done. But Inverness is top there. And there's places like Portsmouth in it as well. So, yeah, well, there you go. So, happiest city. Do you agree with that, folks? It would be good to know. I'm just checking to see who's on. Callum Fraser, Kevin Gilbrisson, Kimberly Hensley saying, yeehaw. Bambi Galittericus, just missed you. We were in last night. Bambi was in next door. Donna Looney McGlynn saying, sounds great. Caroline Smith, we were leaving Strathaven and heading to Erskine via East Kilbride. And, we've got all sorts. Eleanor Cormack, evening all. The sun's out in Merthley today. So, Christine Mitchell says, Portugal came out as Portugal on TechSpeak.
Oh, there we go.
That's a good thing to know. But anyway, out there in the world of what do we call this? The global village that we have created out there. Do you believe that Inverness is the happiest place in the UK? It's a bit of an honour. I don't think anybody was quite expecting it. Now, there is one other little thing I'd like to announce. Some of you might have been aware of this, but on St Andrew's night this year, Blazing Fiddles will be playing at the Usher Hall with Karen Matheson as our guest. It's also going to be my last gig with Blazing Fiddles after 26 years at the helm, which is going to be a bit of an emotional roller coaster, the whole thing. We are talking about having an after show party, and we need to know if you would like to come, because we've already, it's kind of, the numbers are barreling up at the moment, and we've got to find the right venue. So if you'd like to come along, let us know. It will be within about 300, 400 metres off the Usher Hall, but we'd like to know. We've just got to find the right building for it after that. And the other thing is, if you're going to have a party, we'd like to invite some, people who love a good party. This is a picture that popped up a couple of days ago. I was upset. I couldn't believe this. This is a picture of Keith Moon, Rolling Stones, and Oliver Reed, one of the biggest party goers in the world. There they are celebrating, and do you know what they've got in their hands? Only people like me would notice this, but they've got cans of Tartan Special, which was a drink that was really popular in the 70s and 80s. I don't think it was even popular in the 80s, but there they are. That was the drinking of the. You would expect them to have champagne or something like that. Tartan Special. It must have been in Scotland. That's all I can think of. So we're looking for people who might fancy coming along to that party as well. Remember, the gig itself is at the Usher Hall. We'd love to see you there for that gig. And you might have noticed the beginning of the programme. Would you like to play it again, Mrs. Mack, and just so people can see this new piece of work that you've created? That is the new programme start, and you'll maybe notice as well it's called MacGregor's Gathering. There is a particular reason for that. Although I may be stopping playing with touring with Blazing Fiddles, the idea is to take this programme and make it into something a little bit different. So it's going to be called MacGregor's Gathering. We're going to be taking it to village halls around the Highlands, maybe other places as well, but it's going to be a show that you can get involved in, so there'll be a lot happening with that in the future as well. It's going to be a very interactive kind of show. So I look forward to telling you more about it when we've worked out what the hell it is. But up until that point, we'll just call it that. And we might have some big gigs coming up in the beginning of next year as well. Now, we had a bit of a session here on Sunday. The session on Sunday was possibly, well, it was like most sessions in here. Really good, great crowd, great players in, having a good time. Unbelievably though, when it was being filmed by Mrs. Mack, she just came in with the wee phone, filmed it there. It has had 67,000 views since Sunday, and we have absolutely no reason or rhyme for it being so successful. 67.9 I was told it was this morning. There were tunes. Here's a little bit of a tune that was happening. MacGregor's Gathering, live at 5, whatever you want to call it, but here we are. And just reflecting back on a session that happened there on Sunday that just has, well, it's blown us away. The 67,000 I think it is have watched it. And what really made this session entertaining was one of the regulars, Kirsty Nakau, came in to sing a song, and at one point herself and a fellow at the bar started singing a McGlynn song, which was great. They were singing back and forth and the whole bar was singing, but this one caught us completely by surprise. This is a song maybe familiar to those of you who like to headbang a fair bit, from the 1990s, late 80s, early 90s, from the great Guns N' Roses. Well, you work out yourself.
Sweet child.
amazing session that happened here on Sunday. They're always on Sunday, and here's 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We've actually got a brilliant performer coming in on Sunday as well, Willie T. Trailer. More of him as we go on in the show. You also saw there an advert for the merchandise. We are looking for someone to help us with this. We are looking for somebody who fancies getting involved, working with us to get the merchandise out there across the world, because it has actually been flying out. We cannot keep on top of it. We need a bit of help. If you are probably in the Inverness area or the Highland area and you fancy getting involved with us, give us a shout. Jamie at MacGregor'sBars.com. I'm giving his address because he's not here, and that'll teach him. So if you fancy getting involved with it, please do. Now, we're here with Sean Heely and Colin
McGlynn.
Why do I keep wanting to call you McNally for some reason? McGlynn. Now, Sean, you're going to give us a wee song, I think, are you? Now, as I said, mod winner in America for 3 times. Now, the mod, we always think, is that the mod in Scotland is known as the Whisky Olympics. It's a massive, massive thing for Gaelic choirs, Gaelic solo singing, fiddle playing, piping, whatever else it is. And when did it start burgeoning in America?
You know, I'm not exactly sure of the year that it started, but I started the idea of competing at Grandfather Mountain. You know, my first competition was the Grandfather Mountain Highland Games,
which we should tell people is the biggest Highland Games in the world, isn't it?
In
it's
July.
Like, how many people go to it?
Hundreds, maybe like.
I've heard it was like a quarter of a million.
Yeah,
there was I think there was like a record of 500,000 people that entered. Now that could be people returning and going day in and day out, but
that's incredible. And where's that based in Grandfather Mountain?
That's near Linville, North Carolina, so sort of near Asheville, North Carolina area.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. So you took part in the competition there?
Yeah, the first one was the New York Tartan Day, which we linked up at. And then the Grandfather Mountain was in July, and then right after that, right before I came to Scotland, was the Chesapeake mod. So then the next one would be the U.S. National mod by Cummin Gaelic America, and that's going to be in November. So I think that's online. So that'll be really fun to see people from all around the U.S. competing online.
So if you win it 3 times, you know, like if you win the mod, the gold medal, you're not allowed to take part anymore. If that obviously doesn't happen in America.
Well,
you can just
I don't think so, because there's not quite as many people doing it.
No, I always thought it was crazy though. I mean, to win it once you win it when you're 19, and that's you. You're finished.
No, I like to, just like the fiddle competitions, I like to train some students to go and take part in these competitions. But since there's only very few people sometimes registered, but at Grandfather Mountain, although we had about 15 singers this year.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, it was an amazing thing for the Gaelic, so I'm really proud of that.
And who was adjudicating at that?
Wilma Kennedy and Michael Clavenhouse. Yeah, so some very, obviously someone here from Scotland. It was my first time meeting Wilma. She's awesome. And then Michael, I think, lives in Germany, and he's been very involved in Gaelic. So
well, we're going to hear a song from you now, I think.
Absolutely, yeah. I'll sing a few verses from one of the songs I sang at one of the mods. And this is a song from Lewis, the Isle of Lewis. And I learned this from Christine Primrose, my songs teacher. And it's called Salna Ceann Lochan Dún, which is Ceann Lochan Dún, the head of Loch Dún. And it's a place in Lewis. It's just describing the beauty of the place. It's very much a nature praising song. And the author is just very happy to talk about these beautiful places. And we've been there just last week, so we can agree that it is a beautiful place. So we're going to start with the melody, and then I'll launch into a few verses.
You know, I find it quite incredible. I could just shut my eyes and you'd be over there in the islands listening to that, and the fiddle accompaniment fantastic on that as well. Just beautiful, guys. And you know, I can often hear Scottish people going, "Oh, what's that? An American singing Scottish Highland." I think it's one of the most brilliant and beautiful things that somebody would feel so attached to our own music and our culture to go and learn that. That is absolutely amazing. It's just goosebumps.
Yeah. Well, it is my heritage too. So I feel like
Exactly.
It hasn't been in my family for who knows how long, but when I heard it, it felt at home. There's a great word in Gaelic called kianalas, which is like this kind of homesickness, or just a relationship to a place you may have never even been.
I wrote a tune called that actually.
A kianalas.
Yes, I did.
Do you know all about it?
I was actually looking for a word I couldn't. I remember describing it, what the feeling was, and this.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the word you need. That's the word. So we have got people from all over watching tonight. Bard Vadel is watching from Norway. I've probably made a very bad version of his name. Jamie is watching from Tennessee. John is watching from Maryland in USA. Audrey is watching from Belize. Dana is watching from South Carolina. Kay Williams watching from Ireland, and Magui Garcia is watching from Guatemala. Oh my word, that's all
amazing.
On one side there. And our guys here, Connie Smith is watching from Mississippi and giving lots of greetings as well. Do you know Connie?
Oh yeah, she's a Gaelic singer as well.
Brilliant. Hello from Stonehaven. Have you been there?
Not yet.
It's a very exotic place. Yeah, it's just where you get blown off into the sea. Meg Finlay, who runs the Stonehaven Folk Festival. You should get these guys, Meg. They're brilliant. They could play at your festival. She's in just cutting the grass. Well, you're lucky enough that it's been drying. Kirstine's just been watching as well. You've just seen yourself on TV, Kirstine. What a thing that is. And Ronnie B. Goodwin is watching. Now, Ronnie B. Goodwin is one of the guys who was involved in the Outlander series, and we have used a piece of Ronnie's art. Ronnie is a phenomenal photographer, is a short filmmaker as well, and you can't reach it. No. Somebody's bringing it. We will show you one of his pictures here. But yes, Ronnie, this is it here. So that there is one of Ronnie's pictures. Isn't that
That is lovely.
quite incredible? I don't know how you get that close to a Highland cow without getting pierced.
Looks like he's quite distracted with the grass and his mouth.
The grass and the stuff like that. But yeah, that's Ronnie. So he's watching there tonight as well. Good to see him. And oh my word, there's just so many people in there. June Clark is watching, and she's also over there as well. So that's good. Helen Merriman saying hello from Glasgow. See you in 3 weeks. And Tom Simpkins is from a dry, sunny pub garden down south. Dougal's jumper.
Orion Vice is watching as well.
No.
Hello from home. I'm so proud of all of you. Watching from Sean's home in Falls Church, UK. There you go.
Ah, superb. Great. Well, as I say, it's great to have you guys in here. How long have you got left in Scotland? Are you...
We're heading out on Monday.
26th.
Yeah. You've been over to Lewis and you went to Callanish as well, I think, didn't you?
Yeah.
And you saw Loch Ness for the first time. You've been in Scotland so many times and that's the first time.
A couple of years ago I accidentally fell into the river Ness, but I've never been to the loch.
How did you accidentally fall into the river Ness? That sounds like a whiskey story.
That's a great story.
It's a wonderful story.
He's coming from MacGregor's.
Oh, you came out of here and fell into the river Ness?
It was your fault.
There's a big bridge there. I don't know if you noticed it. But obviously not. Oh, that's excellent. So, yes, another thing. We met at Tartan Week when we were over there in April. And this year, next year, a brand new thing. It's called Tartan Parade, and it's going to be held in Edinburgh on the 10th of May. And we were wondering if you, as a regular viewer of this programme, is that the right word for it? We've never quite come up with the right word for it. But if you fancy joining us, we're thinking we might get a gang together and march through the streets of Edinburgh for no other reason than we could have a party afterwards, I think, is basically the idea. Mrs. Mack thought it was a very good idea, didn't you? So there you are. If you fancy getting involved with that, also if you fancy getting involved with the night after St Andrews, give us a shout. You can get in touch with me. It's bruce@mcgregorsbars.com or blazingbruce@gmail.com. Either one of them, you'll find me, and let us know if you fancy it. Now, a couple of weeks ago, in fact probably a couple of months ago now, time has been flying by, but we had a visitation from some Danish gentlemen. These guys are household names in Denmark. They do a programme, they go to different lands and they find exotic foods that are perhaps taken from centuries old foods. They came here to taste haggis, and this is their little programme. Hello. Welcome to McGregor's.
Thank you.
Yeah. Fancy a beer?
Oh, yes, please.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
Full pint, half pint?
Full pint, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
You are Danish.
All right. Wow.
There we go, boys.
All right. Thanks a lot.
So this is a Scottish pub.
Yeah. Everywhere we went around the world, there's an Irish bar.
Yeah.
And I kind of think, why have Scotland not got a bar that isn't just full of tartan? So it celebrates all the things that we love about Scotland, all the food, the drink, the music, the history, but it doesn't have to be plastic Scotland, the fake Scotland that was made in the days of Victoria.
Yeah.
This is very authentic, where people come in and share stories, and I think that goes back centuries, where people go around and tell stories. And the good thing is, if you've had a good few beers, those stories get better.
Oh, yeah.
So,
and don't mind about the truth. As long as it's a good story, right?
Oh, you're in the land of the Loch Ness Monster.
Yeah. What are the things in Scottish history and tradition that you're most proud about, that you celebrate the most?
I love our music and Gaelic language. The language and the culture has been suppressed for many centuries, but today it's coming back.
And how's your own Gaelic coming along?
Well, unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to speak it when I was younger. My parents said I shouldn't do it.
No.
And I can certainly say Slanjava, which is...
Slanjava. Yeah, we learned that so far.
Thank you.
Slanjava. And what about your food traditions?
Everybody in the world knows that haggis is Scotland's national dish. It's one of those things that was made when people were poor. They used every bit of the animal. It's contained inside a sheep's stomach. It's the sheep's lungs, heart. They're all mashed together with fat from the cow.
It's kind of a bagpipe with the leftovers.
Yes, it is exactly it.
Wow. Thank you. But it's dressed up like French cuisine. Right? Yeah. Is it? Smells good though.
Yeah, we'll dig in.
Yeah,
dig in.
Vi har før fået serveret indvold og formave. Men skotterne kan få noget, der lyder frastødende, til at smage helt fantastisk.
It's really good.
Yeah.
And with whiskey sauce.
Ja, det smager meget bedre, end man tror, ikke?
Jo.
Ja.
Skål. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Lanjaba.
Det var.
So that was our Danish friends, Danish TV. Seemingly a massive programme over there. I would like to point out, it wasn't my mother and father who stopped me speaking Gaelic. They just suggested that French was possibly a better language. And since I've married Jo, there's been no point because she's fluent in French, and now I just wish You're fairly fluent in French, but you're a lot more fluent than I am. So that's right. Now we have had. This is a great quote here. This is from Chris Netma Van Dyke. Beautiful voice. He's talking about you, obviously. We are lucky to have Sean Heely in Virginia, where I live. He is our local treasure, but know the rest of the world deserves to see him perform also. Americans are so nice to each other. In Scotland, they just go, that was a bit crap. Tim Bryant, hello from work at Fort Liberty, North Carolina. My word, we've got a lot from over there. Hello from home. I am also proud of you all, watching from Sean's home in Falls Church, VA. Wow, you've got your own fan club on here tonight. This is fantastic. You have, of course, got a show coming up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
The Christmas... Heely? Is it a Heely?
It's just Celtic Christmas, yeah.
Celtic Christmas.
Sean Healy's Celtic Christmas. It's going to be mainly on the East Coast, so the furthest south we're going, I'm pretty sure it's going to be Manassas, Virginia, which is the local to the DC area, and is Lynchburg, Virginia, but then we're going up into New England and stuff, so I hope people will come see us. It's going to be a 9-piece band with Highland dance and percussive dance, and of course Colin's going to be playing fiddle in it, and we'll have bagpipes. It's going to be just a great time.
That sounds brilliant.
Oh yeah.
Christmas, I remember going to see Brian O'Donovan, the sadly lamented Brian O'Donovan, who passed away last year. An amazing man, put on these Christmas shows in Boston area.
Yep.
And they were just packed to the gunnels. They were incredible shows. And he always took a couple of Scottish musicians over as well to get involved in it.
Exactly.
But yeah, it's we don't really do that here. We go and watch, what's that film called? We all go and watch Wonderful Life, and then just sit there going, God, it's cold.
Take out Chinese or something.
Yeah, that's about as bad as we get with that whole thing. But there have been so many people getting in touch with the programme tonight. Hi from Arkansas, but we're here in the pub in Inverness right now. All right, where's Amy? Hey. Where's Amy Holt? Hey! Arkansas. We're going to play some tunes just now, I believe.
Absolutely.
You've chosen this first one, Colin. One of your favourites.
Drover Lads, I believe, yeah.
The Drover Lads, and this is the brilliant thing, right? These guys come all the way across the Atlantic, and they're playing tunes from here, this street. The last one we're going to play is called the Cross of Inverness. I think it was written by Captain Simon Fraser, who lived just over there, on the other side of the Phoenix, which is quite incredible. Here we go. You start, Colin.
Oh. Right?
Yeah, that's it. You got it.
Forgetting.
everything comes together. The great thing about these things is nothing is ever rehearsed. We talked about those tunes, so nobody talks about how it starts and how it finishes, but those are the most important parts.
Yeah.
I was told very, very early on, doesn't matter what you play in the middle, start strong, end strong, the bit in the middle, it doesn't really matter anyway, so there we go. Great stuff. So, where else have we got? What else has been? There's 4 new comments. Oh, I'm touching my wife's phone. This is... Mary Halvin Sheridan is watching from Enniscorthy in County Wexford in Ireland. Jackie Williams is watching from Cornwall. David E. Ellie is watching from South Carolina in America there. Music's got Berlin in Germany with Janet and Rebecca in Oregon. My word, we're all over the place there tonight. And what have the lovely folks here on this? Fiona McLeod has joined late. What's this about the night after the St Andrews night gig? We have tickets for the Usher Hall. Well, Fiona, it's just as well you suggested that. It is not actually the night after, it is the night of that gig. We are wondering how many people fancy coming for an after party. We've got a couple of venues. We've already got about 100 people coming, but we're looking to work out if we're going to have to deal with 150 or 200, or, you know, or are we going to get that usual thing on Facebook where 177,000 people say they're coming and 5 turn up. So that is the thing. We're looking for people to find out what it's going to be like. It's going to be my last gig with Blazing Fiddles, Karen Matheson playing with Blazing Fiddles at the Usher Hall. It should be a good evening altogether. Other than that, I don't think... Is there anything else to say? I'm struck. You know, last week we were on holiday, obviously, and since then I've been swimming and I can't hear out of my right ear, which is really causing me a lot of distress. It's my deformed ear from years of playing rugby as well, so it's really... thankfully I can hear you.
Good. Well, I'm on the right side.
I just don't have to hear Fraser, which is always a bonus. So I think that is just about it for this evening. Sunday? Willie T. Taylor is coming here. We have got this wonderful, wonderful singer-songwriter coming to the bar to play on Sunday evening. Sunday evenings are a very different thing in here. It's a far more chilled out evening. You've got the session all afternoon, all the energy's there, and then it just chills out. And we've got this man. He is going to perform for you. Have a listen to this. He is something else.
The song's called The Cat. I'll ride this pony to the end of the earth. Don't ask me why, I just will. To mother and father, I bid you farewell. I found this road and it's long. If something should happen and I don't return, well, this you should know. I'll find my peace and forgive myself for those things I never done. And I'll ride this pony to the end of the earth, for we are the same. And I'll drive this tractor to the end of the earth. Don't ask me why, I just will. To all of my family, I bid you farewell. I walked this road and it was long, and something is happening and I won't return, but this you should know. I found my peace and forgiven myself for those things I should have done. And I'll drive this tractor to the end of the earth, for we are the same.
Well, that's Willie T. Taylor, who is playing here on Sunday night. I hope you have enjoyed this first edition of MacGregor's Gathering, live at 5. Maybe it was the last live at 5, who knows? It doesn't really matter. It's been wonderful to have you guys as guests. Thank you so much for coming in. Colin and Sean. We're going to kick off with the last set of the evening. Until next week, guys, cheers for now. Cheers. Make sure you check these guys out. You've got a Facebook page, webpage,
SeanHeely.com.
Yep. Great. Go out and support them, guys. Thank you very much. Until next week, we'll leave you with the Braes of Mar. 1, 2, 3.